Hi everybody, and welcome to another Kids Craft. Now as you know, April showers bring May flowers, so today we are going to be making a rain stick. So for this craft, you're going to need a cardboard tube. You're going to need some rice. This is about 1/3 of a cup, but you can experiment with it, use more or less, or you can even use something like beans, whatever you prefer. You're also going to need some aluminum foil. I have some pre-cut sheets. I've got 3 of them here. Set those aside. And I'm going to use rubber bands, but if you want, you can use glue. This is going to be for the ends. We'll get to that in just a minute, but I have rubber bands. And if you get our Take and Make kit, you're going to have rubber bands as well. And I'm also going to get something, like I'm going to use a paintbrush. You can use like a wooden spoon handle, something like that, just as long as it's something about as long as your tube. Okay. So to start, I'm going to make the cap for my tube. I'm going to use some of my foil. You can use paper. Just cut a circle that's bigger than the end of your tube. Cut some slits around it and glue the slits to the bottom. And just make sure it's dry before you put anything else in your tube. But I'm going to use foil instead for mine. So I'm going to tear off a good sized piece. And then I'm going to set this part aside and do this just about in half. So it's going to be for both of my caps for my thing. So I'm going to set one of them aside for now. Another thing about your tubes, if you do want to decorate it with markers, crayons, stickers, whatever you like, do that now before you start putting things inside of your tube. Just makes it a little easier. Okay, so for my first cap, I'm just going to set on the bottom. And just squish it up like so, so I know that nothing is going to get out of there. There we go. I'm going to take one of my rubber bands and wrap it around the bottom like so, just to keep that in place. Now eventually I'll do that with the other end as well, but I still need to put things in it, so we're going to do that later. So leave this out. Well, let's set that aside for now. Next, take one of your pieces of foil and we're going to roll it up so it makes a thin piece. I'm going to start mine on the corner just because it gives me a little bit more length, and just kind of start rolling it up like so. I'm going to do that all the way to the end. Alright, and once you get to the end, you will have a thin piece like that. We're going to do a bigger one first, so take your tube and just kind of wrap your foil around it. If you can, you want to try to get it to the top. This is going to be a thicker one, so you're not going to get a big spiral, but you get some sort of a spiral like that. Okay, and slide that off. There you are, and set that aside. You're going to take your next piece of foil and do the same thing, though I like to make this one a little more thin if I can, so I'm going to roll it a little more tightly than I did my first one. Okay, so then you have another line of foil like so. Okay. So I'm going to take my paintbrush, and like I did with the tube, I'm going to wrap it around, but this one I'm going to do a little bit of a tighter spiral. I just want to make sure it's a little wider, and we'll probably have to adjust this before we put it into the tube, but that's okay. There we go. Here we are. Here we are. Okay, so get my tube back. I'm going to test these first to see if they fit. Might need to squish them around a little bit. There we go. That one fits. And so does that one. This one I may stretch out a little bit because, as you can see, it doesn't quite go all the way up. Just want to stretch it out a little bit. There we go. So next you're going to take both of your pieces and kind of wind them together. This is again something that's kind of, I'm going to pinch my ends together like that. Just kind of wrap them around each other. This is going to give your rice that we're going to put in there eventually just a few more obstacles to go through, more things to bump into, and it's going to make more of a noise. Here we go. I'll make sure that fits in just a second. If you have any foil left over, you can make another little spiral thing to put in there and make a little bit more noise. I think I'll pass on that for now. Okay, once you have that, just put it in your tube. And if you like, you can stretch it some more. Actually, you know what? It's got a bit of a gap there. I'm going to go ahead and make another thing real quick. Whoops. Do a quick little roll. I'm not going to make this one too fancy. It's just a little extra. Push it down a little bit. There we go. I'm going to do this around my thing again. Again, this is optional. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I just have a little extra space, and I feel like filling it up. There we go. I'm just going to attach this right to the top, and we'll see how that affects my sound. There we go. Right, put that back in. And next, we're going to need our rice. Now, this is probably going to be a little messy, so you may want to put this in a bowl or something and pour it in that way. I know I'm going to make a mess, so here we go. Yep, there we go. Just pour it right in like so. I'm getting some on the table. That's okay, so I have paper down. There we go. Got most of my rice in there. And then like we did at the beginning, got my extra small piece of foil. Just going to seal up the top like so. And again, you can do this with paper or something like that. Rubber band, seal it up, and there we are. And then when we tilt it, we'll get that nice rain sound. You can maybe give it a little shake. And there you have your own rain stick. Thank you for joining us for this craft, and we will see you next time.